So last week's I talked to a couple of clients, by the way, 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs, and they asked me this, man, how can I be healthy? But I don't know if I don't have the time. I have to run a business. I feel exhausted. The business it drains my whole day and my whole complete energy, and I can't do anything. And that is what I replied, and I thought that I can share this information with you because I see entrepreneurs all day long who, struggle with his personal life and literally are hyper successful or, starting out the business or in business for 20 years, can't fix their life in personal matter and feel that, their whole life is breaking down because they can't fix it and the whole life is the business and then they don't have a private life and it sucks. And I asked them the following. So, you are successful, right? You know what you want in your business. You have a company, you have a product, you have a skill that makes sure that you have more money than the average human being. So, you are in general, that's what we can talk as entrepreneurs, or that's what we can say as entrepreneurs. You are better than the average human being. So why is it so hard for a lot of entrepreneurs to stay healthy then and to take care on themselves? Well, the problem is business and personal life and personal health are two different areas, complete different areas. It is like business and relationship. You know this cliche of an entrepreneur who has a business but has no relationship, or he cheats on his wife and all of that stuff, because these areas are two different things, and in both areas you are two different characters, or you act and play two different characters. And the problem is the character you play the longest or the most of your day. For example, you work now, I don't know, 80% of your wake time. Sorry, there is someone riding a motorbike pretty loud. Okay, now, if you are awake 80% in your business mode, then your personality becomes your business mode, okay? And your social or personal personality, your non-business related, gets behind. And that means you eat crap food, you don't exercise, you don't sleep good, you don't care about your loved ones, you only focus on business because that is the only thing you have. And we as human beings, that is normal for us to have something we crave, to have something we strive, and to full focus on some things. And the problem is entrepreneurs are hyper focused. Entrepreneurs are hypermaniacs, and I can tell you this, hyper successful entrepreneurs are just non-successful entrepreneurs with literally a crazy factor. That is how you can explain this. And even they are unhealthy, and even they don't know what to do when it comes to health, and they don't care about their body, even though they make millions a year. I talk about millions, so they could potentially buy every single thing, but they don't do it. And the reason for that is because they are hyper focused on their business. But I can tell you one thing. When you feel shitty, when you feel crap about your life, and when you feel physically and mentally bad, one day you will break. I heard this quote in a TV show. I don't know how it's called. Under enough pressure, everything breaks. And you need to understand that when you don't care about your body and your mind, it will break under enough pressure. And as a business person or someone who has to perform at his highest level all day long, always runs on the brink of failure, this pressure compounds and compounds and compounds until you break. And you see this shift now with the modern entrepreneurs who are all healthy. Look now at Steve Jobs, at Jeff Bezos, at Mark Zuckerberg. They all look healthy now. They all exercise even though they are billionaires. You know, their hour is probably worth, I don't know, 200 grand, and they spend 1 hour or maybe 5 hours in the whole week. So a couple of millions for exercising because they know that it's worth their money for the long term. And the cool thing is when you now adapt this long-term thinking in your personal life, all these areas, you know, all these characters you play, the businessman, the social man, the lonely man, all of these characters you normally form, your ego forms to protect yourself. That is completely normal. Have all one brain. And they all get the resource and they all craft their character according to the things the brain does the most. And when you now practice this delayed gratification and working on your health, guess what happens? You think more in long term and more, you know, how can I explain this? More further in your business. You think more long term in your relationship. Suddenly, you don't want one night stands or just dating women with no, with no plans for future marriage or something like that. You don't do that. And that's not because you eat healthy or sleep good. No, it's because your brain wires this long-term perspective and understands that the exercise now doesn't impact anything for today, but it will impact my life or my physical shape in years. And once you apply this thinking, and that is actually what I need to tell hyper successful entrepreneurs when they decide to join my program, that this is the invest they make. They of course they invest money, but they don't care about it. The only thing they need to invest is a couple of the time, a small piece. And for example, for someone who creates this program, who is actually an entrepreneur himself, I work 12 hours focused every single day, in between 80 to 100 hours per week scheduled. So I know what it is to have small capacity of time. Therefore, I use all the tools and methods for me, and my clients, and I know how to do it. So they have the highest leverage when they work for me, if that makes sense. And because I have personalized systems and a tech and the tools and the strategies, and I create the personalized plan. Anyways, it is very important for these people to understand that they don't only invest money, they invest in themselves for the future. And when their body now is healthy, so when they have great health stats and they feel mentally good, suddenly the business makes fun, their life makes sense again, everything is good again. So therefore I believe that health is actually the area where you need to understand the most about, because business is all about money, relationships all about people, but health is actually all about you. And what is more important in life than you? Nothing. In the end, it's you. You're born alone, you will die alone. It's all about you. And these healthy conditions create the solid baseline, these 100 out of 100 energy points that you now have to spend on thinking about your life, on planning, on creating the life that you want. And that is only possible because you are healthy. I have a couple of friends who are very successful, but they are addicted to a lot of stimulants and enhancers, and they feel garbage, and they only chase the money. And the problem is, one day they will fall, and I know this, and then they come to me and I create the plans for them, and then they ramp back in business. And you know what happens then? The business is even higher than before when they went on stimulants and all of that stuff. And that is what everyone tells me, because it is not that health helps you immediately, but it avoids, or it minimizes pressure that you have whenever you go to business, or whenever you have a business, whenever you make the decisions. I only can work in this intensity. I'm 20 years old. I will be a millionaire next year. I want to become a billionaire in, I don't know how many years it will take me, but I only can do this because I focus on my health, on my body, on my soul. I spend, whenever I feel, no, I feel bad, I literally decline important meetings to work on myself. I actually have a whole book here where I do my shadow work. So, I I have here, you can see this, my personal book of the deepest self, transcendence and practice. Here you see pages of shadow work where I write down and do all of that stuff, you know? You see all of the things here. And the cool part about that is once you understand that this time where you actually don't do something that brings revenue, or I don't know, strengthens relationships, or builds a strong body, this year doesn't build a strong body. Going to gym, for example, does. But anyways, um that this time is actually your priority number one. And then there are levels to it, Once you have the baseline, this great sleep, the great mental health, you work on your trauma, you make the shadow work, you understand that you need to eat clean, but you don't, you don't need to restrict your diet like these stupid carnivore people there. Sorry, by the way, for you that you're carnivore, but you don't need it. You can be carnivore, but you need to live with the fact that in 20, 30, 40 years, your arterias are actually bad. Your cholesterol is actually too high, but you don't, and you restrict your whole life. For what? I can eat whatever I want, but only when I do not work, and I know it, and I all have nutrients and food that covers my whole micronutrients as well as supplements that make me healthy, so I can then in the end add up some sweet or whatever I want to eat. I don't have restrictive diet. And I understand that when exercise is fitted, that is no not much work. I don't know, 5 hours a week. Then the sleep is good. You need to sleep anyways, and 1 more hour of sleep per week, gives you actually, I don't know, 30% more focus every hour. So it is completely insane, the return on invest. If you want to have something with leverage and sleep without an alarm clock, and sleep as long as you can, if you're a founder or owner, or if you work in the evening, do this, or just go to bed very early if you have to wake up in the morning, because sleep is number one priority. And the last thing is, this mental work, that you understand yourself, and then you understand when you have this, oh, I don't want to work, I need to procrastinate. Then you write it down. You need to understand why, and your inner self, your unconscious self, tells you why you don't work, want to work, and why you don't do it. Then you are not emotional about it, and then you just do it. And then the layers are something like nootropics, peptides, substances, medications, all of these layers, the timing, doses. You don't need to care about that, because there are experts like me. I'm not sure if there's anyone like me who does it in that precision, but I don't know. Who do that for you. You don't need to research, because you already have a business, but that is actually my business, so I need to be an expert in that, and so I can use it for my success as well. Makes sense. But that is actually what I wanted to tell you in this short video. This week, not much content. I know I wanted to post every single day content, because I have a business partner since 2 weeks now, and I have to restructure a lot. So I actually sit here and work all day long, and I record so many other videos. And I know that I love you all on YouTube. I really love you all, and this is a long-term project, the YouTube stuff. And I will have a cutter one day, an editor. I don't want to post all of this raw stuff, a VA, a director, all of that stuff. But for now, I love to talk to you. I use that as a kind of diary stuff, and I hope I can help you with that. Even though, I don't know, only 5 people are watching this, I don't care about that, because it is not for now. It is long-term invest. And now we have Wednesday, September 17th. Maybe on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will record another video for this week. And then next week, I guess I will be back on track. But this week, I have to do some more things that are more important for now, because I have no other people inside of the company that I have to prioritize these things. But with a healthy body and a healthy mind, I can make great decisions. Even though my personal life is garbage, I can stay mentally sharp, emotional stable, and don't make emotional mistakes that cost me money, and only can drive the decisions that are important. And if I have to make a huge decision, I make sure I only take this decision, and do this decision when I slept good, I feel good, and I have a clear mind, and maybe I took some of my fancy supplements. Hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, just clarification that you as an entrepreneur need to be healthy, because otherwise you will break. Yeah, love you all. See you.